Hello everyone, yours truly Chrislevi13, and today, as of this very video, I want to bring you all a new series to the channel called Things I'd Add. That is correct, Things I'd Add, where I'll talk about video games, consoles, and more, and talk about things that I'd maybe change or add to make the experience better for myself, but for everybody out there in the world, because this year I've looked at some games, I've looked at the consoles in this generation, and there's things that I would like to add to this or that game or change, that I think would make the experience better for everyone who puts their hard-earned money and time into these games, these consoles, and other things in the world. So sit back, relax, hopefully you'll enjoy this series, and if you're new to the channel, do me the biggest favor of all and hit that subscribe button to see weekly content from yours truly. So when it comes to this series called Things I'd Add, I was thinking about it the other day at work, when I was just sitting there, because at work I got a lot of time on my hand to think, because I'm doing my job, in retail, and it's kind of like I'm by myself doing it a lot of the time, so I got time to think about YouTube Live, things like that. I was thinking, well, what's some new stuff that I could do to my channel, and I started thinking about games that I played this year, and they're not the best games in the world, but they're not bad at all. I was thinking there's things that I would add that could be done in updates and or in the next iteration of said game. So with that being said, one of the games that just had an update launch for it called Shrouded Spoilers, which I've yet to play as of this recording, is Sea of Thieves. If anybody knows Sea of Thieves, it is done by the acclaimed studio Rare, who back in the 90s was synonymous with working with Nintendo being one of their big developers, and then in the early 2000s Microsoft bought them up, and then they haven't really done as much outside of Rare Replay and Sea of Thieves, which are both cool, great, grand, but when you Sea of Thieves launched earlier this year and then was part of Game Pass, it just was kind of bare bones. You're a pirate, you customize your character, you drop into the world, you get your ship, and you go out there and you kind of do fetch quests. You go out there and you get some gold, you fight a skeleton fort, get the loot there, and you take it back, whether it be a skull, this, that, or the other thing, and you get money for it, and then you just basically do some cosmetic stuff to your character. And then the stuff for the ship was way higher up, and you had to get a lot of money. And there's several things that I would add to the game, even though when they added the Megalodon in there, it was cool. The Kraken is cool. The skeleton fort's cool. The skeleton ships are cool, and the stuff that I see that's in the Shrouded Spoilers update is very, very cool. But there's things that I see that aren't added, so I'm going to talk about that in this video in no specific order. I'm going to talk about from what your character look like, to food, to weapons, and more. So hopefully you all enjoy this. So let's start off with food. Okay. I've watched pirate shows, I've watched pirate movies, I've seen pirates in comics, I've seen pirates throughout books and all this jazz throughout my life. But I've never been the biggest one to see pirates run around, oh, I need a banana, I need a banana, I need a banana. I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean. Everybody's seen Pirates of the Caribbean probably. Do you see them going around, oh, I've got a whole bunch of bananas on my ship, I need a whole bunch of bananas on my boat. No, 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 no. I don't mind bananas being there. I don't mind it. But there's other food things that I'd add. Number one, I would say, hey, you're in a tropical setting. Maybe add some coconuts into the game, And the way to get these coconuts, they may be found, if you go to a port, they may be in a barrel once in a blue moon. But the way to get the coconuts is you got to go to a tree, you got to get your sword out, and you got to knock on the tree. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 or 3 coconuts would fall down, and you can get coconuts, and coconuts could be a bridge between having to drink like the grog, the rum, and the man, because coconut can be food, and it can also be a drink because of coconut milk. So I think coconuts would be a cool food aspect to add to the game. And then also, because you're a pirate, add in some fish. You could eat some fish. Maybe when you swim in the water, you have a different variety of fish. Maybe you can grab a few fish here or there and get some food that way. So besides the bananas, add in some coconuts and add in some fish or some other type of foods, because I would like to see that expanded there. there, because you know, and maybe have them affect your health a different way, like banana would make you know, or stuff like that. It'd be a really cool thing to do if they could do that, you know, because I'd love to see that, you know, because eating bananas all the time is cool, great, grand, but I'd like to see this world, this massive, be able to have other foods for you to be able to eat. Then when you move on from the foods, you talk about, hey, what else do you use? Well, you've got your weapons. Because after weapons, I'm going to go into what the character actually looks like. You got your weapons. Well, you got your pistol-like gun. You got your blunderbuss, which is the big, more like the shotgun, and then you got the one that's like, I forgot what it's called, but it's more like a sniper rifle, you know, because it's got like the little scope on it, which is cool. And then you got your sword, which is cool for your melee weapon. But I think for another melee weapon, maybe they add in something that's like a dagger or a longer sword, so that you have two different swords to shoot them. You got one that's close range, and you got one that's a little bit longer. Maybe in like a sword or something like that. But also maybe take something that could be the middle ground between something that's a sword and something that's a gun. Maybe go out and maybe, hey, you could customize your character with a slingshot, where you can go around these worlds, these different islands, pick up a couple, maybe some seashells or a few rocks, and have about 5 or 6 of them on you at a time, and be able to use those. Like you go, like, bam, or like you could pick even like you knock these skeletons down, you pick up their skeleton bones, and you could use those, you know, to make your skeleton slingshot, and then use the skeleton heads as the ammo. It'd be something fun, quirky, random, but that's what I would do. So add in maybe another sword. It could be a Link, maybe another gun, but I don't know a lot about guns, so I don't know what gun. But maybe like a slingshot. It'd be like cool variety in weapons, you know. And you can sit there and be like, okay, do I want to have 2 guns on me? Do I want to have a sword and a gun? Do I want to have a sword and a slingshot? And give you more variety in what you could use, you know. And hell, even if you didn't do that, maybe you could get yourself like a hatchet or something in there. This is just off my head, off the cuff video. So you could get like yourself like a hatchet, you know, and be able to go bam, 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 and you know, because I've seen pirates with like hatchets and stuff like that. You know, you could have something like that. It'd be cool to have that stuff in there. Then when you move from the food to the weapons to what the character looks like, when you drop into the game, I wish there was more customization for your character. Because you can look like a man, you can look like a woman, and then there's some things you can do. And then you got all these cosmetics from, which did this, that, other thing. But body-wise, outside of the cosmetics of the clothes and like stuff like that, body-wise, I wish you could have some more customization that way. But that's just a little small thing. And there. I like you go into these different islands and all that, and you get different like legs, peg legs, and different arms and different colors and all that jazz. It's really, really cool. I like the way my characters come to look, you know. But also, you know, that's really, really cool, you know, that every time you load into the game, your character's like that. But when you move on from your character, what does your character get on every time he gets on the ship? Every time he gets in the game, what do? You've got to collect what's on the island if you want to, and then you got to get on your ship, whether it be the sloop, the galleon, or the other ship, and then you got to go sell the seas, whether you're doing it by yourself or with multiple other people, and that's really, really cool. But I would like to be able to have a feature to where you don't always have to go to the ship lady that's on the dock and say, hey, go, I need to add this to my ship. I wish you could like sit there and like who's ever the leader of the party, or like one of y'all could go to the lady and automatically one click, bang, you already got a couple save things, and bam, you hit one click and then all your stuff that you wanted on the ship from the top flag down to the bottom can be done in one click. Boom. Or you can sit there, load in the game, and your ship's already done because you in the pre-screen already said, hey, you asked people, hey, what ship y'all want, and y'all kind of do it, you know. So every time you jump in the game, you don't have to spend those few seconds talking to that lady, even though you got to talk to that lady to purchase things for your said ship, you know. Now, when it comes to ship, I like that they're letting you customize the wheel now, the part where you got the anchor and the cannons now. But when you go to the captain's quarter on the galleon, there's a spot right there that says like a ship name. I wish you could be able to name your ships, and if you named your ships and you got your ship style you like and you wanted to use that and didn't ever want to change it, every time you jump into the game, you have your name of your ship, and when you jump on that ship, it give you like a little thing. You are now on the red ruby. You are now on the black pearl. You are now on the black gem. Whatever you call your said ship. You know, it'd be really cool to be that. You know. You know, and when you're running around the world, he could say, hey, people can see, hey, this is your name and this is what ship you're from. And it'd be really cool to be like that, you know. So being able to name your ships would be cool to add into Sea of Thieves. That's another thing that I would add. But no, and as far as your ship goes, I like how it is, but I like what you like the captain's chair that's sitting there in like the captain's quarter. Hey, be able to have us be able to sit in that chair and actually be able to see our character sitting in that chair, you know, and be able to do certain things more with the ship, you know. And that would just be things that I would add so far. Then when you go outside of the character itself and the said ship, when you look at stuff I made, oh, there's another thing that I'd add for the ship and character. Like you could add yourself like a monkey or something like a parrot, you know, and because like in Pirates of the Caribbean they had the monkey, they had parrots in there, you know, and all that, and which would they both serve the same purpose. Like you could have a parrot and it go up and it could go fly up a certain height, and you could be able to go to it and you kind of get a hawk's view. Bam. But a monkey would go straight up. You could tell a monkey had, you could click on, you like see a tree, monkey go up that tree, monkey go top of the tree, and then you could do a 360, do it like that. Or you could do it on a ship, you know, and that'd be a really cool feature that hey, you're down here and you hear something, you tell your pet to go up there and do that for you, you know, and that'd be a cool feature to add a pets into the game, you know, and you know, and if they're, you know, when you're going around the world, they'd be on your shoulder, they'd be small enough or big enough to be on your shoulder, and you could go around the world fighting and doing good plundering, being a pirate, but have that feature there. Then when you move outside of the pets, your character, and the ship itself, when it comes to the actual world, add in more when you talk about the water that you're selling, add in more diversity, because like I see diversity in the Megadons are coming. I haven't tried it out yet, but they're there. I like how they're improving on the Kraken, which is the biggest thing in the game. But I like to see when you're swimming in the water, maybe you see some few more different fish, you know, and maybe a couple different versions of the shark. Like you have the regular shark, you have a hammerhead shark, you have a swordfish shark, or whatever you call that, you know. And maybe every once in a while you could have maybe some, maybe add a whale or two into the game. Because like you could be swimming in the water, or you could be going down there, and you see a whale jump in the water, boom, and the whale would never attack you, but like you see a whale jumping, and maybe like you see a Megalon come over and attack that whale, bam, and then they see you, and then they come at you. And it'd be really cool to add some more stuff that's in the water. Then when you go to the islands itself, add in some parrots, some monkeys, some different stuff that could be there outside of the pigs, outside of the chickens, outside of the snakes. A couple more different animals that like you could do fetch quests to get these different animals, different colored, you know, and stuff like that. But also you could interact with them where when you're fighting the skeletons that are occupying these islands, they could be something that would affect you, you know, like you're sitting there fighting that, and then a parrot comes flying by, and then like the skeleton, like he starts fighting you, and he starts shooting at that parrot, and they can like give you an advantage against that skeleton. But then sometimes you see the parrot, and you actually go after the parrot, and the skeleton gets an advantage on you. It'd be certain different things like that. Okay, different things like that would be cool to add into the game. And then I'd also add in a few more NPCs, in-game characters that you got the world set up pretty much, right? And you got randomly generated stuff in the game and all that. But I think the different ports, it's like you can build all these ports by saying, hey, these merchant alliances are merchant alliance and all these things. But the different people at the different ports would be like, you know, man, there's this guy named Jeff that's at this port, and he's part of the merchant alliance. But then there's a guy named Chris at this port. This, and they all have like a certain getup that they all wear, but they could look different. So when you go to every store, they're not always looking like carbon copies of each other, the NPCs, you know. And maybe certain islands, you could have certain conversations with maybe an NPC or two that's there that could give you lore about some of the game outside of the big updates, you know. Because like if you learn more, like you went to where the volcanoes are, and you talk to somebody at that port, and they said, hey, this is what this world is, the Sea of Thieves, blah 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 blah, here and this and that. It'd be really cool to do that, because I know it's a multiplayer game, and it's more about that aspect of being a pirate and all that. But more story from some of the NPC characters outside of the Bill Rats and certain things would be really cool, you know. And I think if you added these small implements into the game, more food, a little bit more customization to the character yourself outside of the clothes, some adjustments to the weapons and add some more of that in, and add some pets in and stuff like that, and different stuff out there in the world to interact with, the game would just keep getting better and better, because I'm a fan of Sea of Thieves. Not everybody's a fan of Thieves because they dropped into the game, they expected Rare to live their beautiful game, but then was not enough there, but there is stuff there now. And I feel like when the game released, it should have been a $30, $40 game. Now, I feel like the game with the Shroud of Spoils, even though I've yet to play it, I've only seen the trailer, I feel like it's worth 40, 60 bucks. You know? But that's just what I would add to the game itself. If there's anything you would add to Sea of Thieves, comment down below. If you played Sea of Thieves, comment down below. Because if you want to play Sea of Thieves with me and one of my late night streams, please hit me up and we will do that. Anyway, that's things I would add to Sea of Thieves. In the future, I might do things I would add to State of Decay, my Xbox One, and other things out there in the world. And hopefully you will enjoy the new series that from time to time will be popping up on this YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm Chrislevi13, and I'll see you all later. Stay awesome.